gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, we have the WWE Elimination Chamber review. Just got off of Peacock with it about an hour or so ago. Overall, pretty decent show. It's pretty predictable, to be honest with you. I enjoyed watching it, watching with the Pulse family and stuff. But, there were some laws in it that didn't make a lot of sense. I don't understand why. And this goes for a lot of pay-per-views. I don't understand why we need a video package for every match. Because if you've watched any show at all, you've seen these video packages. I don't know if it's for the people that didn't watch the weekly shows. I don't know. Because from 7:33, when the Women's Chamber got over, until 8:10, when the mixed match, when Edge and Beth Phoenix and Rhea and Balor began, in that 40 minutes, we had one 5-minute match. The rest of it was video packages. Wow. So we started out the show with the Women's Chamber match. We had this is number one contender to go against Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. We had Asuka, Carmella, Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Cross all in the pods. Natalya and Liv Morgan both started. Everyone came out before there was one elimination. It used to be 5 minutes between letting somebody out, and it's now 2 minutes. They actually said it in the show. This match lasted 20 minutes. First one out of the pod was Raquel Gonzalez, and then Nikki Cross, then Carmella, and then Asuka was last. Eliminations: Asuka and Natalya eliminated Liv Morgan. Carmella pinned Natalya. Asuka pinned Raquel, and then Asuka and Carmella was the final two, and Asuka got the victory. There was a couple spots that looked kind of wonky. Raquel Gonzalez and Liv Morgan, it looked like Liv came off the pod, but kind of landed weird when she did like a Hurricane Rana type on Raquel. A couple of wonky spots like that in it, but overall it was a pretty decent match. We got the graphic Asuka versus Bianca Belair at Mania. I give it 3.5. Next up, we had a 5-minute just trash match. We had Bobby Lashley versus Bobby who? Versus Brock Lesnar. Oh yeah. Pretty much. Lashley hit a spear, did a hurt lock, tried to at least, couldn't get it locked in. Then we ended with two 5-star F5s from 5-star. Yeah, right, not these two. Two F5s from Brock, total of 3 spears from Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley had the hurt lock locked in. He probably had it locked in a good 30 seconds to a minute, and then Brock decided to donkey kick his ass and kick him in the cojones. And then the ref called for the DQ, so Bobby Lashley won by disqualification. I seriously? And then we had Lesnar F5 the ref in the ring. And then he F5 Bobby Lashley. Then the F5 Bobby Lashley through the announce table. And then the F5 the referee through the same broken announce table. So, more than likely, Brock Lesnar will probably be suspended for, 30 days. Ooh, that's convenient. Let's look at the calendar. What does that do? Let's say he gets a 30-day suspension, because that's March 18th. Oh, he'll come back March 17th. That's a SmackDown. That's 2 weeks before Mania. That makes, or Monday after the 20th. The 17th, and then Mania is April 1st, so Mania just start 14 days after that. So yeah, that would be nice and convenient. And he comes back, 2-week build, as Brock Lesnar would say, Bobby who? Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania, no disqualification. My prediction and my guess. And then, again, 7:33 to 8:10. 37 minutes. And we had a 5-minute match in between. And then now we have Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. This wasn't that good, to be honest with you. Dominik came out. He was in the corner of Finn Balor. He got involved a couple of times. You had Finn Balor at one point crawl under the ring, come out the other side on where Edge's corner, and basically pull Edge off the apron before Beth could tag him. You had both women, Beth Phoenix and Rhea, powerbombing the other one's guys. So Beth powerbombed Finn and Rhea powerbombed Edge. And then Edge ended up getting the victory over Balor. It was, 15-minute match? I give it 2.5. I mean, it wasn't that good, actually. I'm honest with you. I mean, it was like, oh, okay. Next up, we have the Men's Elimination Chamber match for the United States title. We had champion Austin Theory, Montez Ford, who honestly are pretty beastly in this match. Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and then the first two to start were Johnny Gargano and Seth Rollins. Before this, I think it was before this match, before the last match, we had a WrestleMania promo where they showed Seth Rollins kind of like the Joker coming down the stairs with the face paint and stuff, and Becky Lynch was trying to be Batman, and she said, "To the man cave," and Seth was like, "Man cave? Yeah, because I'm the man. We're going to the cave." I'm like, oh, it was cheesy as hell, but it's funny as hell. So Gargano and Seth started. Same with the women. We had everybody come out before we had any pinfalls. We had Theory come out third, our first out of the pod. Then Priest, Bronson Reed, and then Montez Ford. There was actually some cool spots. Montez did a spot off of he climbed up most of the way up the side of the chamber and then to flip over. The one thing I hate about these kind of spots, and I was talking to the guys about this as well, is when the camera shows everyone standing there going, don't show them down there. Shoot the camera up so all you see is the guy up there. When he does the flip, then you zoom the camera down and he falls on people. But just to see people go, it was like, that just kind of took away from it. You had, who was it? I think it was Gargano and Seth sitting on the pods. Sitting on the pods at one point, and they're just looking at each other, just kind of hanging out, and then he chops them, and it's like, okay. Couple dives off the pods. Montez ended up pinning Bronson, and then Rollins and Gargano. That's on them on top of the 10. And then Priest pinned Gargano. Montez Ford pinned Priest. And then we had when Theory pinned Montez Ford. Montez Ford was hurt. This left Seth and Austin Theory in the ring. And so it looked like he had a concussion, so he couldn't stand. So multiple referees had to come in, so they opened the chamber up. We're all sitting going, yep, we know what's getting ready to happen. When you open a chamber up like that, shenanigans start to happen. And we had some shenanigans. We had one Logan Paul show up in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, to a really a booze. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Come in. He ended up attacking Seth Rollins. We all knew it was going to happen. Setting up their match. He goes out of the cage. We get the 1-2-3 by Austin Theory. And still, United States Champion Austin Theory. And now we have more of Logan Paul and Seth Rollins set up for WrestleMania. So, I would guess that would be night 1, maybe. And night 2, my prediction would probably be Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Because if you remember last year with Vince, McAfee was involved, Austin Theory was involved. I can see them carrying that storyline over. That way you have Logan Paul on one night, you have Pat McAfee on the other night. And I give it match 3 3/4. That was really good. It was super, just kind of like old school, it seemed like. But yeah, 3 3/4 star on that. One of the actual better chamber matches, to be honest with you. And then we had our main event. We had Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. They literally spent, I mean, this crowd was hot. They literally spent 4 minutes just staring at one another. And the crowd's chanting, F you, Roman. And just, they're all about freaking Sami. There's literally a crowd in the sign. He took away from the old Hammerstein RVD, John Cena. It said, if Roman wins, we riot. So, but there was no riot when the match was over, so I don't understand. You lied on your sign. It's a super good match. I love the referees that do that when they go 1, 2, and they just slow the 3 down so enough to kick out. You're like, oh. A bunch of those kind of spots. You know, you had Sami pulling out some old stuff where you used to dive through the ropes to the bottom of the ring, right into a Superman punch. Sami Zayn had a Superman punch. It looked wonky and funny. It looked like, like that. Like there was no hand. It was like a nub hitting him. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was out and told the more story later. You had Jimmy come out after the match. Both referees got knocked out. You had the second referee come down. You had the crowd was losing their shit. So the first referee gets knocked out. Sami was getting ready to pin Roman. He lays on him, realizes there's no ref. The crowd starts chanting 1, 2, 3, and just they got to like the 10. Then we had another referee come out. He ends up getting knocked out in the corner. Then you had Jimmy Uso come out with a chair, and all the shenanigans started, and you ended up with Jey Uso spearing Sami Zayn. It looked like he missed Roman and hit Sami. So it's like, okay, you got dissension with all this. And you had Roman getting in Jimmy's face, or Jay's face, excuse me. And then at the end, you had the 1, 2, 3 by Roman. You had Kevin Owens come out for the save on Sami. You had Roman Reigns in one corner, Sami in the middle of or Kevin in the middle of the ring, and then Sami one side. You could tell Sami wanted to go for the hula kick, and Kevin was standing in the middle, and they're kind of looking at each other. Kevin just stepped back and let him do it. You had it kind of ended with Kevin walking up the ramp backwards and Sami in the ring. The crowd was cheering. The crowd lost their shit when Kevin came out. So you had Roman retain the title, but you had the crowd go home happy because Kevin came out at the end. My prediction is we're going to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos in some like ladder match or something at Mania, probably night 1 main event for the tag titles, in which Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will probably win. But that was the Elimination Chamber review. I get the main event 3 3/4 because of the storytelling alone. So the main event and the sub main were both 3 3/4. 2.5 on the intergender match, Balor and Rhea and Edge and Beth. 0.5 star on Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, and then 3.5 on the women's chamber match that Asuka won. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show for some GCW stuff from the weekend. Get that up early next week. If you're a NASCAR fan, check out the Daytona 500 preview. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.